This is every side Easter egg on The Reckoning in Black Ops 6 Zombies. So the first one is Mr. Peak's parachute. So if you come to the executive suite and then come to this broken stairway here and then look down, in the middle you'll see a Mr. Peaks. If you shoot him, he'll start floating up to the floor you're on, where he'll eventually land on this railing here. If you then go up to him and interact with him by using X or square, he will then glide down the tower, leaving purple rings for you to follow him by parachuting and then going through the rings. Now, when you follow him, each ring will give you 100 essence, and there are 13 rings in total that span across all 3 floors. To complete this Easter egg, you need to make sure you go through all 13 rings without touching the floor. If you do end up touching the floor, don't worry, you can just go back to the top of the tower and then try again. As you go through the final ring, you'll land at the main reception, where once you reach the floor, you'll be given a random perk. The next one is the Sharpshooter Easter egg. So once you turn on the power, if you come back to the main reception and then stand on this Project Janice logo, where if you then shoot the logo on the TV, a red target will spawn on your right. Your screen will also go grey, where zombies will not attack you. On the TV, there will also be a 10-second countdown. If this countdown reaches 0, you will fail the challenge, where you can start it again the next round. What you need to do is shoot all 9 targets that appear around the reception. However, you only have the 10 seconds to find the target and then shoot it. Once you shoot all 9, you'll be given a random ammo mod, which will change every time you do this. If you then wait 1 round and then do it again, this time 2 targets will spawn, where once again you will have 10 seconds to find both the targets and then shoot them. Once you have completed this second challenge, you will be given an ether tool, which will change rarity depending on what round you do this. If you then wait 1 more round and then do the challenge again, 3 targets will appear, but this time they will be moving. Completing this challenge will give you an Ethereum crystal, which once again changes depending on what round you do this challenge. The next one is the golden bin Easter egg. To do this Easter egg, you need to interact with 8 bins around the map. Some of these bins will do nothing when you interact with them, and some of them will give you random loot. If the bin doesn't give you loot, don't worry, just move on to the next one. There are 6 bins in the executive suite, and then there are 2 bins in the Janice reception. Once you've interacted with all 8 bins, you want to come to reception, where if you go to the other side of the metal detectors, you'll notice that this bin is glowing gold. If you interact with it, it will give you a load of loot, and it will also give you intel. The next one is the 115 pool balls. If you come to the pool table in the director's office and then look at the stack of pool balls, if you shoot the same balls as me, making the number 115, the balls will jump to the table and a self-revive will spawn. The next one is a Thorella. So to do this one, you are going to need the wonder weapon, where if you come to reception and look through this barrier, you will see a cubicle door that is closed. If you use one of your sprays on the door, it will open, where it will reveal an Thorella statue. If you then use the charge shot of the wonder weapon on the statue, it will hop up and then start following you. If you then take it to the particle accelerator, where if you jump in, it will follow you into the beam, where it will then get stuck inside the beam. If you then jump back into the beam and then make sure you go through the Thorella statue, you will push it out of the beam, where it will start following you again. However, this time it will shoot lasers from its eyes. The statue will shoot lasers wherever you're aiming and will last between 2 to 3 rounds. Once it ends, if you wait a few rounds, the Thorella statue will appear again in the particle accelerator, where you can push it back out again and it will follow you for another few rounds. The next one is the chicken bucket Easter egg. If you come to the cafe in the executive suite, behind the counter on the shelf will be a bucket of chicken. If you use any explosive on this bucket of chicken, it will fall onto the counter, dropping 6 chicken wings around the cafe. To complete this Easter egg, you need to find all 6 chicken wings. The first 2 are on the counter next to the chicken bucket. The next is on the floor by this door. The next is on this chair on the left of the bucket. The next one is under this chair on the right of the bucket. And then the final one is hidden behind this bin behind the counter. Interact with all 6 and you will eat them, where if you then go back to the bucket and interact with it, you will place it on your head and wear it as a hat. The next one is the musical metal detectors. To do this Easter egg, you need to turn on the power, where if you come back to the reception, you will notice that the metal detectors make different noises as you go through each one. Now, to complete this Easter egg, you need to go through the detectors in the order I'm showing. So the one on the far left, then the right, then the middle. You need to go through them in that order a total of 4 times, where once you have, your screen will turn white, where music will start playing. The next one is the picnic jump scare. Now, if you remember this scene from the Liberty Falls trailer, you can actually see where this was from The Reckoning. If you grab a sniper and then come to the executive suite and then look outside this window, you will be able to see where Richtofen was having a picnic with his family. However, if you look long enough, there will be a jump scare. The next one is the caster turret upgrades. This Easter egg is fairly simple to do. All you have to do is activate the caster turrets a total of 5 times. These can be the turrets by the Forsaken or the ones in quantum computing. Once you've activated them 5 times, a zombie will spawn where when you kill him, he will drop a hard drive. If you pick this up and then grab Melee Macchiato, and then come to this machine in quantum computing, you'll be able to punch it open, revealing a brain where you'll be able to insert the hard drive. You will then need to protect the hard drive for a certain amount of time, where once you have, it will have upgraded the caster turrets. If you fail to protect it, don't worry, the hard drive will be spat out where you'll be able to pick it up and put it back in. If you then activate the turrets another 10 times, another zombie will spawn which will drop another hard drive. If you take it back to the same computer and then once again protect it, you'll be able to upgrade the turrets to Mark III. Now, if you then activate the turrets another 15 times, another zombie will drop a hard drive. If you take this back to the brain and then protect it, you will have upgraded your caster turrets to level 4, which gives them the ability to brain rot zombies. The next one is how to get the ether blade. So to do this, you need to find 3 paintings that go on this wall here. The first one is in the particle accelerator room in this corner here. If you pick the painting up and then return it to the wall in its specific place, you will get 500 essence. The next painting is on the top floor of Android Assembly, where if you come over behind these wet floor signs, you will find it. Take this painting back to the wall, where if you then come to the main reception and then look behind this door here, you will find the third painting. Place this on the wall, where if you then grab an ARCXD and take it below the Forsaken, there will be a gap in the fence where you can drive through. If you drive all the way behind the Forsaken, you will come across this purple crystal where if you blow up, a void will be created which will work its way up the back of the Forsaken. As it moves up, it will leave crystals behind. If you destroy the crystal, they will give you salvage. And then if you destroy all the crystals, the very last one will give you a safe key. If you then come to the director's office and then use the Mr. Peaks field upgrade on this portrait here, it will reveal the safe. If you use the key to open the safe, it will start a lockdown, where once you have completed it, it will give you the ether blade and then 2 intel. The next one is the Mr. Peaks headphones. So the first set of headphones are in the Mutant Research Lab, where if you come over to the right by this door, there will be a body where in his hands will be the headphones. The next ones are underneath the Forsaken, so if you drop down, on this chair will be another body and around his neck will be the next headphones. The final pair are in the director's office in this cupboard in the corner here. Activating all 3 will start the song. Next are all the power-ups. So starting at reception, if you come through the metal detectors and then look outside this barrier, on the tank will be the max armor. Then in the mutant lab, if you come to the leaning pod, just above it will be the full power. Now, if you come to quantum computing and then look above the computer, hidden in a tiny slot will be the double points. If you then go to Android Assembly and on the top floor, on top of this electrical box up here will be the max ammo. Then if you go to where the Forsaken is, in this barrier here will be the insta-kill. Now, if you go to the executive suite and then look up, on top of this pylon will be the bonus points. If you then come to where the particle accelerator is and then look through this cage here, you will find the nuke. Once you've shot every power up, if you look at the barrier by quick revive, you will find the fire sale. The final one is the vending machine. Like Liberty Falls, this map has a vending machine opposite Klaus. Once around, if you crouch and then hit the vending machine, it will give you a random reward. And then if you grab Melee Macchiato and then use it to destroy the machine, it will give you better loot. And then of course, like the other maps, if you shoot the pool balls on the pool table, it will give you 100 essence.